A former top medical official with the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee is making damning allegations about how the organization handles mental health issues. In his first TV interview, Dr. William Moreau alleges he was let go last May, in part because of his complaints about the issue. Moreau has filed a lawsuit claiming he was wrongfully terminated. Here's Dr. Jon LaPook.
Michael Phelps has done it again!
In the water, Michael Phelps could beat any challenger.
I'm a finely tuned swimming machine.
But on land, he says he was brought to his knees by a force he couldn't see or understand.
I also struggle with depression and anxiety.
This week, Michael Phelps said about the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, "I don't know of anything they've done to help us mental health-wise."
You're either part of the problem or part of the solution.
And is siding with a whistleblower, a doctor who worked inside the USOPC for 10 years and gave his first TV interview to CBS News.
Michael Phelps is exactly right, and people need to start listening to what he's saying about mental health.
Dr. Bill Moreau, a chiropractor and a former medical chief for the committee, was fired last May. He says one reason was retaliation for complaining about how the organization handles serious mental illness.
These Olympic and Paralympic athletes, they're the sons and daughters of the United States. We love to say they're like the person next door. It's because they are. They suffer from mental health problems like everybody else.
Dr. Moreau was alarmed at what he says was the organization's slow response to an athlete in crisis.
World champions, the United States.
Olympic medalist Kelly Catlin. In 2019, while on medical leave from cycling, she took her own life.
We're trying to become experts in the management of serious mental health illness, and that's not what we do. If you have suicidal ideation, you need to be under the care of a psychiatrist.
Catlin's death spurred Dr. Moreau to send a memo to USOPC leadership about what he said was an ongoing problem. He says they address athlete mental health issues using staff who are experts in sports performance, not psychiatry. He wrote, "It's a dangerous pathway to follow." He says he got no response. Catlin's father says he doesn't know if more help from the Olympic Committee could have saved her life.
We desperately need action.
Olympic champion swimmer Allison Schmidt, who has battled depression for years, tweeted that Catlin's death breaks my heart and says she's still struggling to get help from the USOPC.
As physically hard as this sport is, as any sport is, it's emotionally and mentally draining as well. As an athlete, we're not able to just turn that off. Our jobs are 24/7. And so I do believe that we need that support physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I do feel like we're only getting that support physically.
Michael Phelps talked about how after an Olympics, he would crash emotionally. It was kind of a letdown. Is that an especially vulnerable period right after an Olympics?
Completely. And as soon as that last race is swum, it's, okay, you're on your own. See you later. And yeah, that's a very vulnerable stage that we're in at that point because we're giving everything and we're on top of the world and we come back down. And whether you win or lose at the Olympics, you have those feelings of coming down from the highest of the high.
What a performance. Olympic record 153.61.
Allison Schmidt, who has won 8 Olympic medals, 4 of them gold, says the USOPC needs to change its priorities.
They care about performance and how many medals they get. And other than that, I don't feel like we're a priority as a human being.
The USOPC did not respond to our request for an interview, but said in a letter to its athletes last week, quote, "In the cases Bill Moreau uses as examples against us, we acted appropriately, expeditiously, and in the best interests of the athletes." Elaine?
Dr. LaPook, thank you.